talk about is a study on fitness. Many people start to talk about how, from a physical performance standpoint, start to report much better performance. And we have our notorious case, Frank Condon. You may have heard the story. Frank had his own record when he was 57, and he could not change it for a number of years. At 63, if I remember well, started to take Stem Enhance, and then beat his 57 years old record. If I remember well, it was by many seconds. I think it was 10 seconds. He's doing like the 1,000 meters, 1.5 kilometers, long distance, not the dash, but not the marathon, somewhere in between. There was a video on the web of one of his races. It was very impressive. You see the racetrack, and then you see Frank crossing the line, the finish line, and in the background, half a field behind, you see the rest of the people running behind. It was very impressive. So at 63, he beat his record at 57. At 64, he beat his record at 63. And at 65, he beat his record at 64. That was after an injury that was supposed to put him off for the rest of the season. He just repaired very fast, went back and beat his record again. So a lot of people start to report those kinds of stories. So there's a process here. When you push your body a lot, you break muscle fibers. When these muscle fibers are broken, there's a mechanism to protect the muscle that is inherent to your nervous system so that you're not going to overcontract that muscle and further damage it. So if the damage is fine, like it's not huge, a little bit soreness, but not more, you go back the day after and you train again. But you cannot train to the fullest because there is an inherent mechanism to prevent to go to full contraction. If you can repair much faster and recover faster, 2 days later when you go back to the gym, you can go to the fullest. 3 days later, 5 days later, and so on every day. So over time, you just get a much greater outcome out of your same training. That was the concept. So we went in the lab and we tested it. When we started to talk about the study, and we tell them, we'll put you on Stem Enhance, they started to look at Stem Enhance, what it was, and when they slowly realized what Stem Enhance was, we could not have any one of them on placebo. They said, if I'm not on Stem Enhance, I'm not part of that study. So we were not able to have like a placebo group and a Stem Enhance group. So we tried to think of how can we work that in so that we can clearly see the effect of Stem Enhance compared to the effect of the training. So what we did is that we split the group in two. One group started on Stem Enhance on day one, and the other group started a month later. So if there was a difference, we would have the first group progress faster, and the other group reach them up in their progress a little bit later. And that's exactly what we saw. You can see the group 1 here progressed much faster, and then group 2, as soon as they started to get on Stem Enhance after about week 4, week 5, then they slowly reach back the other group. So we're using that data as preliminary data because it's strictly preliminary data at this point, but we're using this to basically go now and sponsor a large study in a lab that has that very specific expertise. So that's the body of the information that I wanted to share about Stem Enhance.